Heroin, Scott or the Scott Man, and here in the little office right now, about to eat some grilled cheese. Oh well, it's just a sticker, but thank you again to my good friend Nat or Madam Toadstool for that grilled cheese sticker. It was cool to use that in the grilled cheese video I did. If you haven't seen that, it's a hilarious video I made. Well, I've been home the past couple months, so yeah, definitely go check that out. But anyway, decided to do another Q&A because I haven't done one in a long time, and for some reason, this is probably the first time where nobody has asked me, when are you doing your next Q&A? But it's like, anyway, it's like, yeah, it's been a long time, so it's like, why not do one? Alright, so thank you everybody for submitting some great questions this time. Everybody does a great job submitting some awesome questions. Got some questions mostly on YouTube, but also a little bit on Facebook as well, although that seems to be the norm anyway. Okay, so we'll start with the YouTube questions, and since I'm here at home, I got my computer out so I can see the questions that way instead of having to look on my cell phone. My cell phone's is over there, so that way it doesn't interfere with this. But yeah. Alright, so the first question comes from some very good friends of mine, Jamesy Boy Experiment, Adam and Corin. Just like all of us, they're at home right now too, just dreaming about where to go next, just like me. So their question is, where will be your first trip out of the USA after the pandemic is over? So it's gonna depend. So currently I am still scheduled to go on a trip to South Africa in October with Greg Snell, and Nellie Winter. As of right now, the trip has not been postponed yet or anything like that. However, that can change in a few weeks. So there's always a possibility that could happen. But if that's the case, I'll plan some type of an alternative trip, whether it's to Europe or if I can't even do that, maybe some other road trip or something here in the United States. So, but yeah, it's really going to depend. But if everything goes to plan, it'll be South Africa. Although, and if not, it'd probably be someplace either Europe. I'd love to go to Portugal or Italy, or even or back to Spain too. But so that's if I can't go to South Africa, but Europe is open, I can go there. Or could be Canada, or other than that. If it's after this year, then it's really hard to say. It'll be somewhere though, so no worries. Well, thank you for the question. Next question comes from Robert Sitch, very good follower of mine. His question is, either a partial list or the number one thing you would not want to find in a hotel room. That's a very good question. I'm glad I'm getting a question in regards to the hotel reviews. So, well, for one, I would not want to find another person in my hotel room. As a matter of fact, I think I mentioned this in one of my videos during the trip to Europe in 2017. I remember I was staying at a hotel in Ljubljana, Slovenia, which is in Central Europe, and I was walking around. Walking around the city there, and then I decided to go back just to rest for a little bit. I think this was before going to dinner or something like that. And I went to go on the door, and my room key wasn't working. I had all my stuff put in there, and then all of a sudden somebody came up to the door, was like, "What the?" So it's like, for some reason, it's like the hotel accidentally put somebody else in my same room. Thankfully, I hardly had anything out just yet. I mainly just dropped off my stuff in general. So, but it's like, but thankfully the hotel was nice enough. They were able to get everything situated, and nothing was taken or anything like that. So all good. But yeah, that was kind of a weird experience though for all of us. Although other things I would not want to see in a hotel room is a bunch of hair or dirty linens, towels, you name it. But yeah, thank you for the question. I wasn't even I'm glad I remember that little hotel story from that hotel in Ljubljana. So next question comes from Allie N, and She has two questions. The first one is favorite destination in Southwest Michigan. Oh, it's definitely an area I need to get to a lot more than I do. But yeah, love it. Well, can't really think of one place, but there's a couple different places. Like one, I love going to Niles, Michigan. I've been there twice, and especially in the springtime, it is a beautiful place in the spring. Got a lot of beautiful trees that really bloom during, especially in May. It's like I could go there right now, but not really the best idea, at least at the moment. but yeah, the very, very beautiful area, and also there's South Haven, Michigan, another great place. I need to get back over there at some point too. I've only been there once, and it's a beautiful area. But yeah, that whole part of Michigan's really nice. But again, I need to get back over there again soon. And then the other question is favorite date night restaurant. Oh, I really don't have one. It's like although it's like it's kind of hard to think about that one because in theory you can go to any restaurants can be great for a date night. It's like, yeah, the big thing is I would make sure that you go to a local restaurant though, just because local businesses are the heart of a community, and it's very important, especially right now, to help out the local business owners and restaurant owners and also their staff, because yeah, they're really hurting with the pandemic right now. But even without that, it's good to get their business. So it's pretty much anything that's a local restaurant, and of course that you can dine in as well. It's like, of course, there's always the classic Italian food. It's like that's always good. But yeah, or even like Tiffany's in Frankenmuth, that's a great place to go to. It's like, don't have any true like date night restaurants, just because I don't have I'm not married and I don't have a girlfriend right now or anything. But if I did have a girlfriend, like we'd definitely be going to Frankenmuth because there's some great restaurants there. And it's very romantic walking around Frankenmuth anyway. So thank you for the questions. Next question comes from Justin Smith, and he asks, can you do a driving video on I-94 east from Detroit to Port Huron? Well, I'm glad you asked that question because I have done half of that already, but not the other half. So I filmed the video on I-75 from I-94 from I-75 in Detroit all the way to M59, which is over by Selfridge the National Guard base that's east of like Mount Clemens. However, I still need to film I-94 going from M59 all the way up to Port Huron. So that would definitely be a great video idea. So yeah, thank you again for the suggestion. Although it's more of a suggestion than a question, but hey, it's in the question format, so it counts. But yeah, that's not a bad idea though. Okay, the next question comes from Devin Wazalewski, another longtime commenter and follower of mine. And he asks another similar question. Can you do a driving tour on 26 mile from County Line Road in Chesterfield to Stoney Creek? Oh, that's not a bad idea either. But yeah, that's always, I have a huge list of places to go to with the Driving with Scottman895 videos, but yeah, so it's hard to say when I'll be able to get to that, but yeah, I'll definitely add that to the list, because it's a nice drive, especially going all the way over to where Stoney Creek Metro Park is, and it links up with Mount Vernon Road, which is exactly where I ended that DeQuinder Road video I did. So yeah, that's not a bad idea. So thank you very much for the question. Okay, and the next question comes from another good follower of mine. All right, make sure I'm not missing any questions here. Comes from Jacob Ahiju, and he asks, what's your favorite city to visit, and would you visit a hotel in that city? Oh, it's like, yeah, that's very, very, very broad. But it's like, there's many great cities I love to visit. I love visiting Boston, which I need to get back there at some point. I haven't been there since like 2017 or I need to go back because I can't remember when I last was there. I think it was 2017. But yeah, I love going to Boston. here in Michigan, of course, love good old Frankenmuth. And then, yeah, I'll probably just leave it at that because there's a lot of favorites out there. So I guess it's like the first that come to mind. Okay, so thank you for the question. And next question comes from Jaden P. And he asks, would you feature your friends Power to Mario and Shadow Mario 41 in your travel videos again, like you did in 2014 and 2016? This time on a driving video touring the Orlando freeways. Ah, very good question, or questions. I don't know if they're supposed to be grouped together or they're just two separate questions, so we'll play by ear. But yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen both of them. Yeah, I'd love to get them back in another video. It's like, because I know Thomas, which he's Power to Mario on social media. It's like I know he just moved to South Carolina, and of course of all timing, I was there before we moved there. Otherwise, I would have definitely met up. But yeah, love to get him back in our video. If he ever comes up to Michigan or if I go down to South Carolina, definitely love to meet up and you guys appear in another video. And then same case with Eric or Shadow Mario 41, which because yeah, he lives in like the Rhode Island, Massachusetts border area, somewhere around there. I'm not sure exactly where, but yeah. If I go to Boston, I can always message him to see what he's up to, see if he's wants to meet up. So it's always possible. And then a driving video touring the Orlando freeways. Oh, that's not a bad idea. Not sure when I'm planning to go to Orlando next, but yeah, if I plan a future trip there, whether it's to visit Orlando or if I happen to go to any of the theme parks like Disney World or Universal Studios, which I know my good friend Traveling Spanky would love for me to do some videos at Disney World. Yeah, that's always a possibility. So, yep, stay tuned. All right, so next question comes from Mom23 Forever. She's a very good follower and supporter of mine. She has a few questions. The first question is, I'll do one at a time. Do you have any favorite places or restaurants that you missed due to permanent closures? Example, Murdoch's Fudge of Frankenmuth. Oh yes, absolutely. Like that place for one. Like I was really sad to see that place closed, and of course that was before the whole pandemic, so it has nothing to do with what's going on right now. But yeah, like that's one place that's really sad to see it closed down, and I think there's been a couple other restaurants I think in Metro Detroit which have closed down too. Like there was that Indo Fusion place that was in Novi, which had like Goan cuisine, which is like Portuguese and Indian cuisine mixed. It's like a fusion because Goa is a state in India, which was the only one which was a Portuguese colony compared to being a British colony back during the British Raj, back before the mid 20th century. Second question, where's your favorite park? Michigan and outside Michigan? That's a very, very good question. So in Michigan, I have to put my thinking cap on. I don't know where it went. Sorry, but oh yeah, love Sleeping Bear Dunes. It is a beautiful, beautiful park. Lots of great scenery along Lake Michigan there, like especially with all the sand dunes. That's an amazing park to go to. It's a must visit in Michigan. I would say that's the first one that comes to my mind. I would say, but there are so many beautiful parks in the state of Michigan. Like you could come to Michigan just for the parks, and you would have a trip of a lifetime. And then also for outside of Michigan, that's another tricky one too, because there's so many cool parks all throughout the United States or the world. Like outside of Michigan, like there's Rocky Mountain National Park. That's a great park that's in Colorado. I love going to. The Badlands National Park is amazing in South Dakota. But yeah, there's so many great ones, and I love to get out to some more of the different national parks, especially in the western part of the United States, like Zion National Park, because I know my good friend Chris or Yellow Productions, he's gone there. He's done some videos there. I also love to go to Grand Teton National Park and Yellowstone, Yosemite, like all the different parks, even Joshua Tree down in Southern California. But yeah, Someday. Okay, a third question. Can you explain what a Michigan left is? When we visited there, I don't recall what that would refer to. That kind of brings back a little bit of memories when I did that Sterling Heights driving tour video where I was going off on a rant about the Michigan left. So Michigan lefts are basically like when you have a divided highway, boulevard, dual carriageway, whichever term you use, depending on where you live. You have a divided highway. I'm trying to visualize it as best as possible. So what happens? It's like like if you're driving on a road like a boulevard and you want to make a left turn at an intersection, it is prohibited in general. I think some roads like Outer Drive are like an exception where you're not allowed to make a left turn. So what you have to do is you have to bypass the intersection. There is a turnaround past the light or the intersection, and you have to make a U-turn, and then you can go back the other way and you make a right. Or if you're coming on a road and you're approaching an intersection that is a boulevard, you can't make a left turn either. And you have to make a right turn to go the opposite direction, then do the U-turn and go back the other way. It's like, I think they do that for safety reasons, just because they're trying to prohibit like blockages for people trying to make a left turn. But so I can understand why they have them, but yeah, it's just very inconvenient because you could sometimes have to stop at 3 traffic lights to make a simple left turn, and it ends up could add a few minutes to your allotted time. So it's like, yeah, I could get a little bit frustrated when it comes to those, even in the driving videos. You saw that in the Sterling Heights driving tour video I did not too long ago. And the last question. And crunchy peanut butter or grilled cheese? I can tell you love that grilled cheese video, but I have to say grilled cheese because when it comes to peanut butter, I make creamy peanut butter over crunchy peanut butter. And grilled cheese, you love grilled cheese because look at this grilled cheese. There are so many hearts around grilled cheese. Yeah, special thanks again to my good friend Natalie. But grilled cheese is awesome. And she's saying, will you make more videos like that? Always a possibility. Yeah, I had so much fun making that. Yeah, thank you for the questions. And then the last set of questions for YouTube come from Doggy Records. And he has 4 questions. The first question is, do you play any music while traveling? Yes, I do. I don't play anything when I'm filming the driving videos just because of copyright reasons. But yeah, when I'm driving around, yeah, I have Sirius XM radio to where, yeah, I'll listen to a bunch of different radio stations. I like all sorts of different types of music. I like old classic rock, like later classic rock, basically like classic rock from like the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Also like 90s alternative and grunge as well. Or even like some of the 80s alternative music, I think like Depeche Mode, The Cure, or like some of those artists as well. And then even some of the older country music as well, like 80s and 90s country, like that's another good station. And also like 60s pop music, like, yeah, like all sorts. I'd say the rock stations are probably the ones I enjoy the most. I even listen to a soft rock, like a classic soft rock station on, I think it's called The Bridge. They play a lot of great music. It's very easygoing, and it's great to listen to like on a drive into work. And the second question is, will you watch Jaden P's playlist of your vlogs and his favorite songs? I didn't know you had a playlist of my vlogs. I almost have to check that out to see what videos he has in that. I'm curious to see what videos he likes of mine and then his favorite songs. Yeah, I might have to check that out sometime. So yeah, thanks for the reminder. Third question, what's your favorite freeway? I have no idea. I kind of have to go local in this one, sort of. I'd have to say I-75 right here in Michigan just because it's the freeway I say I'm on the most. And although they can be frustrating during rush hour traffic, but I-75 has a lot of great scenery, especially as you go to the north in the state of Michigan. Like as you go north of Detroit, like like, of course, you go by Frankenmuth, like a few miles away, and then you go up the Silwaukee Bridge, and then go up to the North Michigan. You got all these different wooded areas and rolling hills, and of course, don't forget the Mackinac Bridge too. The Mackinac Bridge is a wonder here in the state of Michigan. It's at one bridge you must drive over at least once. So I-75 I'd say is the first one that comes to mind. So thank you for the question. And the last question, what's your number one favorite place in New England and in the Mid-Atlantic? Well, New England, I kind of already answered that in a different type of question, but I'd say Boston just because the city is really awesome, a lot of great history. It's a very walkable city and lots of great food there. I could go to Boston just for the food. Clam chowder, oh yes. I need to drink some water. And then the Mid-Atlantic, have to think about that one for a second. But yeah, well, for one, I really enjoy checking out some of the areas in coastal Maryland. Like I remember going to St. Michael's, Maryland, which is right on the Chesapeake Bay, and that's a beautiful community. I loved going for a walk in that town. It was very, very nice. There were a lot of people there because I went there like around 4th of July weekend several years ago, but a great place. I highly recommend it. So thank you very much for all the questions. So that's all the YouTube questions. So now let's go to Facebook. And we got questions from 4 different people on here. All right, make sure I'm getting everybody on here. Okay, so the first question comes from Sean Howard. And he asks, what do you remember the most about your visit to Coldwater, Michigan? Oh, I don't remember a whole lot from that video. That was like, I think 4.5 years ago. I do remember, so I went there in January, and I think they had something of an ice sculpture festival or something going on there. It's not like the one that they have in Plymouth, Michigan, every January, but I do remember there being a lot of ice sculptures around. I remember they're playing a lot of different music there. Like I remember hearing like some Beatles songs. I remember even hearing this. I think I heard Cheap Trick and like a lot of great classic rock they're playing like at this festival too. But yeah, it's like that's one thing I do remember about visiting Coldwater. And of course, I remember driving by that Capri Drive-In theater, although of course it was closed at that time of the year, but because I know that's a historic drive-in that's to the west of Coldwater along Highway 12. But yeah, thank you for the question. So I got to remember about that one a little bit. Okay, and then the next question comes from GEC Gross. I don't know if it's Gross or Gross, so I apologize if I'm butchering your name a little bit, or your username, or name. Okay, so he says, since you drive around so much, how's your gas mileage in your vehicle? So I currently drive a Honda Civic hatchback, and it gets great gas mileage. I'd say on average it's between 35 and 37 miles per gallon, so I can go at least 350 miles before I have to fill up the tank. Just like, or for example, I think, yeah, I took the long way going to South Carolina, my road trip there, and I don't think, like I had a full tank when I left Michigan. I didn't have to fill up the tank till I got to Pennsylvania. Like I can go pretty far on a full tank of gas, and it's really cheap to fill up the gas tank too. So even like if gas prices went up to $3 a gallon, it still wouldn't be too bad to fill it up. And he says, I'd imagine it gets pretty good miles per gallon. Yep. And then also, have you ever came close to any road rage incidents by other drivers, or you just lost your cool with other drivers? I don't know if you're talking about during the driving videos or off camera, but well, for one, during the driving videos, like I remember filming a stretch of I-75, and I wasn't a road rage, but I was a really bad driver or something. I can't remember if he was trying to come right into the same lane as me, or did some type of a lane change and cut me off a little bit. I can't remember what happened with it, or it was with another driver. But it's like I was like, "Whoa, buddy, hold it." But yeah, it's like But yeah, it's like nowadays because it's road rage is never a good thing. So it's like it's like you just gotta be very calm. I'm trying to not trying to don't ever do the finger or anything like that. I won't show it just because I want to keep this video PG. So yeah, it's never a good idea to give the finger to anybody, even if they deserve it or something. But it's all about we all got places to go. We got families. We have to. They'd be devastated if one of us didn't make it home one day. So always got to remember that. And thanks, enjoy all your commentary driving videos. I learn a lot about them. Well, I'm glad you enjoy them. I enjoy filming them. I'll be going out to film some more very, very soon. Okay, so a couple questions. Next come from Michelle Marie, a very good follower and supporter of mine. Her first question is, have you had to cancel any trips due to the pandemic? Yes. As a matter of fact, as I'm filming this video, I was supposed to be in New Orleans today because I was supposed to go to a convention called Travel Con. And that ended up not getting canceled, but postponed. And so currently that's scheduled for late September now. So the ticket's still good for that. I haven't made any flight reservations for that, but I'm not sure if I'm going or not. It's going to depend on what I do in early October. So I haven't decided if I'm going to go to that or not. And then my San Diego trip I was supposed to do in April, I pushed that to Labor Day. And then there was a trip to Europe I was planning to do in June, and that got canceled completely. So that won't be happening either. And then the South Africa trip I was just saying, that's still on, but that can always change. That could change in a few weeks. So I'm hoping that one goes, because that's the one trip the whole year I was been looking forward to the most. But yeah, I know, and everybody's travel plans have gotten affected this year. Like, I'd say everybody. So it's not just me. Like all my travel friends. Yeah. But we have to make new plans and new arrangements. So, but yeah, it won't be forever though. So no worries. And the second question: what's your favorite onomatopoeia? I really don't have one, but I'd say the first one that comes to mind is pop, just because just love that popping noise when you hear some type of pop being made. So that's the first word that comes to my mind when I think of onomatopoeia. So it may or may not be my favorite, but it's not something I think about. What is my favorite onomatopoeia? but yeah, basically onomatopoeia is basically a word that basically it sounds like itself, like a pop sound or like the word bark, the sound that a dog makes. You get the picture. But yeah, thank you very much for your questions. And our last question comes from Travis McKellar, and he asks, has anyone ever given you a hard time about filming while out in public? Not necessarily. People usually haven't given me most of the time they haven't really given me a hard time, although I've passed by a couple random people that were like get your camera away, boy, things like random things like that. Like, I wasn't filming, I just had my camera out. But yeah, people are very camera shy, so it's understandable. But it's like I've had moments, especially now that I have the bigger camera setup with my Scott Pod and of course the microphone I have on top of the camera, to where I have been asked to put away my professional gear because they think I'm a professional filming like a commercial video. So because a lot of places you have to have you have to pay for a permit to do professional filming, like with a tripod or a monopod or even a microphone. So like I'll usually have to put I have been asked to put some of that stuff away to where it's just the camera. But yeah, so when it comes to filming, you have they're especially for like private property places, you have to respect the rules, like no exceptions. But yeah, thank you very much for the questions, and thank you everybody for all the great questions. I had a lot of great ones this time. So thank you everybody for watching this video, and so if you enjoyed this video, be sure to click that subscribe button to come along and join me for the adventure, and don't forget to click the notification bell so that way you know when a new video goes live. Well, thank you for watching, and this is Scott, or the Scott Man, signing out.